I forgot to mention I'm VP of Engineering in Mercari.
You forgot to mention you're the Vice President.
The Mercari is one of the first unicorn of Japan. I'm like, what is unicorn?
Yeah, I think that 80% of being successful in Japan.
Hello, everyone. It's time for MET, Mercari Engineering Today. I'm Mike.
And I'm Jessie.
Jessie, I see you're wearing your glasses again.
Lately, I've been thinking, what is a newscaster? What is the essence of a newscaster?
Wait a minute, I'm confused.
I've been trying to figure out what the true meaning of becoming a newscaster really means,
Wait a minute, is this?
Since the last episode was a huge hit, I, Jessie, have once again gone out to interview some Mercari engineers from all over the world. It's time for another episode.
Can you even hear me?
Of The Jessie Show. Hello everyone, welcome to The Jessie Show. Once again, today's topic is Mercari engineers from around the world. Today I will be talking with two engineers, so please welcome our special guests, Carlos and Stephan.
Hello.
Welcome, hello, nice to
Nice to
meet
meet
you.
you.
I'm Jessie.
Nice to meet you, Stephan.
Carlos, nice to meet you.
Have you guys worked together before?
We work a lot.
We did, yeah.
Wow, well we'll talk more about that later. Please have a seat.
Thank you.
Now, before we start, I have prepared a little treat for you guys. These are egg tarts, and I usually like to have a little sweet treat after I've worked really hard or at the end of the day. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Please help yourself.
Okay. Definitely we deserve it.
What do you think?
Thank you very much.
What do you think?
Really good.
Really good, right?
Excellent.
Anyways,
Thank you very much.
let's get into the program. So, could you please introduce yourselves?
All right. Well, my name is Carlos Donderis. I'm originally from Spain. I have been in Japan for about 13 years now. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, my name is Stephan. I came in Mercari 4 years ago, in Japan 10 years ago. I'm from France and I'm engineering manager at Mercari.
The engineering manager. Whoa.
Right. I forgot to mention I'm VP of Engineering in Mercari as well.
You forgot to mention you're the Vice President.
I tend to forget that a lot.
Sure, it was on purpose.
Surprise! Wow, well, it's lovely to meet you both. And I'm sure there's lots of talented engineers all around the world who are really interested in hearing about what you have to say today. So, what brought you to Japan? How did you become interested in it?
Go ahead. I'm curious as well.
Actually, in my case, it was Japanese language itself, not so much anime or whatsoever, like it's often the case. It was more the language. I found it really beautiful, and then I decided maybe I should, look into it. Maybe study it by myself, and that brought me into the culture, etc. And then I went once to Hokkaido. That was the first destination, not Tokyo actually. I thought I would come again, and the second time I just stayed, basically.
Nice.
For me, I started doing martial arts, in particular karate, since I was a kid, like around 7, 8 years old. So that was my first contact with.
That's all I'm thinking of is you doing karate.
Yeah, that was my first contact with the Japanese culture, and always wanted to visit Japan. And finally, when I was adult, I came to Japan for sightseeing. Tokyo really struck me as a very interesting place. So when I finished my vacation, I went back to Spain, but with the objective of actually coming to live to Tokyo. My original plan was to at least try to live here for a year. And I guess it went well because it's been 13 already.
That's great. Okay, I'm going to switch gears a bit. How did you come to work for Mercari in the first place? I'm going to start with Stephan.
So in my case, I was looking for a new job opportunity. I was in touch with the recruiter, and the recruiter approached me and said, you're studying this programming language, and there's this company called Mercari that basically just work a lot with that language. What do you think about it? And to be very, very honest, At first, I was not that interested because I thought, I don't want to bet my career on a company that only has a smartphone app, basically. And then I was frank with the recruiter. I told them, what I thought, and they said, no, you should look into it. It's much more than that, actually. And Mercari is one of the first unicorn of Japan. I'm like, what is unicorn? I mean, I know what is a unicorn, but what does it mean in a business term, right? And then I looked into it and I saw what it meant. I thought, okay, that must be bigger than what I'm thinking, actually. And when I was looking into it, I realized how much of a big company or big thing, it was. And then started to look into more the culture of the company, the engineering culture, etc. And I was just, hyped right away. So I was like, yeah, just please sign me in. And then I had my first interview.
You're forgetting that part. Like, actually, I convinced him because I was his interviewer, and he wasn't so sure about it. But actually, I remember I never really extend interviews that often, but we extend our interview for about 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's right.
Because we were having a good conversation.
I love this relationship on this couch. I love it. Carlos, what kind of work do you usually do at Mercari?
So I'm the VP of Product Engineering, and what does this mean is, like in Mercari, we split our engineering division, so to speak, into two big groups. One is platform engineering that basically works on the infrastructure and like provisioning the system on top of which we build our services. And then there is this area that focuses on building the app, creating new features, expand our web, etc. And I'm responsible for this one. So what I do on a daily basis, I guess my responsibility is make sure that we have engineering capabilities to keep building features for our customers that use the app. And hopefully we deliver additional value to them.
Nice. How did you become the vice president? I'm so interested.
Karate.
Karate? He karateed his way to the top.
Yes, I was. Maybe, no, I don't think so. So I joined Mercari as an engineering manager. And when I joined Mercari, actually it was the time in which Mercari was starting to hire engineers from not only from Japan, but from all around the world. Our management, or at least at the time, our managers were still mostly Japanese managers. Not many of them could speak in English. And at that time, I think I was already 8 or 9 years living in Japan. I had my fair amount of interesting experiences working with Japanese managers. And I saw in myself okay, I could be this bridge that connects new joiners coming to Japan for the first time, work as an engineer, and connect them with all the good sides of Japanese working culture. And I don't know, I thought that this was an interesting challenge, and I decided to join as an engineering manager. And through my journey in Mercari, I guess I just adapted to the different circumstances that we were going through. And I guess my role just changed because, I don't know, I was to some extent already doing part of the responsibilities of the next role. And somebody said, well, Carlos, I'm being called Katz internally. Well, Katz is already doing this, so let's give him the role, the title. And that's how I grew into my current role, which is VP.
And now back by popular demand, let's move on to our next segment, Let's Get Talking.
What is that?
In this box, there are questions which you might find a bit difficult to answer, or they might be easy, who knows? I will be drawing out the questions, and we're gonna give them a go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What are the benefits of working at Mercari?
My first answer will probably be the people you'll be meeting there. I believe we have wonderful people in the company. Before Mercari, I mostly worked with for startups with very, very low number of people. I think the biggest was maybe 30 people. So Mercari is my first big company, and that was one thing I was a little concerned about. It's this many people, they would be people you don't get along with, right? Still waiting to meet them right now.
Oh, so, wow.
Yeah, try to beat that.
I agree, the people is great. I also kind of like the service and the impact that you can have. Mercari is huge in Japan. We are one of the biggest, if not the biggest marketplaces. And the work that you put in production reaches 20-something million of customers. And when you work at that level, you need to think in a different kind of a scale. And I believe for an engineer, that is very attractive. So that's good. And when you actually go in the train and see the people using your service and you look at how they're using it, oh, that is the new feature. That person seems to like it. It feels good.
Oh, that's great to hear. If you dare. Wait.
So what do you think Mercari needs to do in order to advance as a company? Those questions are quite light, huh?
To advance as a company.
No pressure, only 6 cameras.
Something we're already doing, I think, but embrace diversity definitely in the people is a great
diversity.
thing. Yeah, more people means more diversity of opinion, and usually it's a positive thing. There's also economical challenges all around the world that we need to deal with because we're a business like any other companies in the world. So I think we're in the middle of it now. There will be an after, hopefully we get out of it at some point. So once we get out, what kind of company do we want to become is a big question, I believe. Something I'm looking forward to know.
Yeah.
Those are the first answers coming to my mind.
Good answer. I think you get to keep your job.
Yes. It's good that my boss is not with me right now. All right, revenge. Okay, what do you find the most rewarding at your job at Mercari?
I think there are 2 facets of it. One is still I'm responsible for almost 300 engineers, and seeing how these great engineers that we have overcome all kind of challenges, because let's face it, we have few of those challenges. There is always requests that we need to fulfill. And regardless of how hard these challenges I throw at them, they come through. That is amazing. And actually seeing people growing as a professional is a good feeling, I think. The other one is when I see actually people using and enjoy our product. And that kind of connects all the hard work that we are doing with results and how you are impacting people's life. And that also feels good. So I think that is what I enjoy the most.
Nice. Oh, where is your favorite place to visit in Japan?
Okay, I can work with that. It's a little bit cheesy maybe because it's also kind of a popular tourist spot, but I actually like Meiji Jingu a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of a nice area, has a beautiful scenery, and it's kind of a nice energy. So actually when I am stressed or when I feel like I need to take a break or clear my thoughts, usually my default place to go for a walk is I just go through Meiji Jingu and avoiding the place full of tourists, of course, but I just walk around those forests. And it always works, actually. It usually clears my mind.
It's a nice, quiet space in the middle of the city.
Kamakura area is pretty
Kamakura.
cool. It's close to the beach. There are a lot of temples, so there's this calming aspect that you can find in Meiji Jingu as well. I really like the beach. I'm not so much a beach person, but I like the mood on the beach. Basically, by the beach, people taking it easy.
Yeah.
It feels like it's vacation, sort of. So I pretty love that place, yeah.
I guess I should answer.
Yeah, please
What
do.
about you?
The subway car that has the most air conditioning.
Oh yeah.
Are we allowed to talk about beer on this show? I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
All right. What is this?
That is the wild card. And so that means you get to ask any question you like to Carlos.
Wow.
And he can't escape.
All right. So the wild card, I get to ask you what I want. So, what would you say? So you worked in Spain before coming in Japan a bit, right?
Yes.
Based on your experience in Spain, your experience in Japan, which are completely different, but that's fine. Would you say you grew as a professional and as a person coming in Japan, and what aspect do you think?
Yes, definitely. I think while I was working in Spain, I worked in different companies, but the products that I was delivering or working on was mostly internal tools for administration or so nothing that requires actually a huge scale, maybe thousands of users. But when I came to Japan, I started working in services that has millions of users. Usually when a service is popular in Japan, it usually scales very fast to millions of users. And I was mentioning also this before. When you develop an engineering system that needs to scale to thousands, millions of users, you cannot rely on the same techniques that you used before. And that definitely helped me to grow as an engineer. And for personal development, I think like not understanding the language, because when I came to Japan, actually I couldn't speak Japanese. It was a process. It sort of forces me to learn different kind of interpersonal skills to understand what I'm supposed to do to actually deliver what I was expecting to. And also this indirect way of communication helped me to sort of like tame my wild Spanish way of aggressively communicate. And actually, I learned that it helps you to circumvent several scenarios much better than getting into a fight, instead like working for consensus. So I guess I grow in both like technical and non-technical skills through my experience in Japan.
Great answer. Lastly, can you both give a little bit of advice to any engineers who might be thinking of coming to Japan to work?
I'd say when I came in Japan, I was not blown away by a massive difference in culture. Anyone looking to come in Japan, please stay open-minded for work, but in life too. I think it's going to shake all your principles, most of them, and you need to remain open. If something sounds off to you, don't fight back, try to understand where people are coming from. And it doesn't mean that you need to agree with it, but thinking about it is an incredible experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, so open-minded.
Yeah, I think that 80% of being successful in Japan as an engineer, and in general, when you come to live here, keep your mind open. And I think like the other advice that I always give, because it actually worked very well for me, just have fun. Like, people tend to freak out when they see themselves in a scenario that they don't know what to do. Like, I just decide to have fun. Everything is a little adventure. Like, you go to the supermarket, you don't know how to speak or ask for things, or make it that a small adventure. Like, and I don't know, enjoy these little challenges that you find every day. I think that make my life in Japan like quite interesting. So yeah, keep an open mind and have fun.
Keep an open mind, have fun. That's great advice. So thank you so much, you guys, for coming today. It was a pleasure to meet you both, and I will see you next time on another episode of The Jessie Show. Bye.
Bye.
Well, I thought.
Diversity is such an integral part of Mercari's company and core values. What did you think about the clip of The Jessie Show?
Oh, well, I mean, it was great, but I think we've been doing this show together for a while, so I think it'd be fair if I had my own show. Like,
what should I cover next in the next episode of The Jessie Show?
Are you listening to me?
See you next time.
Hello?